What's going on, everyone? Yesterday, a very interesting piece of news came out regarding an adaptation that I think most people who were aware of it just kind of assumed had been quietly canceled. That being the anime adaptation of Naoki Urasawa's Pluto, which was originally announced 6 years ago in 2017. And after that initial announcement, we didn't hear anything about it until today, which was strange, right? Like, why did it take 6 years? Who knows what kind of development hell this went through behind the scenes, but it is somewhat rare to see an anime project get announced and then have it take so long to come out. Like, if it usually takes this amount of time, there's a good chance it's been canceled, right? But thankfully that's not the case, because this is a manga that has been very widely well received, very highly regarded, and I am excited to see it get adapted. Now, we do know a decent number of things about this. We got an actual trailer for the show, and it looks pretty well animated. There are CGI elements in it, but not like the characters being done in CGI, aside from when they use their robotic weapons that are like in their body. So some of that is just gonna have to be accepted, right? Like, it's hard to do things like that, like somebody's hand turning into a weapon and not have it be CGI. So we just kind of have to go with it. It may not be ideal, but it's definitely better than like a poorly done, fully CGI anime, right? Like, I think this is acceptable and it's understandable, even if you're not a fan of CGI, right? And the character designs look good. You can definitely tell it's an Naoki Urasawa production, because you look at those noses and you're like, oh, you look like you're from Monster. So I'm really excited for it, largely because of how much I loved Monster. I mean, I don't think I need to tell anyone how great Monster is. Even if you haven't seen it, you've heard its reputation. Fantastic show, one of my favorite anime. And just to see another anime done by Urasawa is exciting in of itself. And on top of that, something I didn't even know until recently, this is sort of attached to Astro Boy, which is interesting, right? Why would this sort of darker, more serious story be attached to, you know, something I think a lot of people see as being a little too goofy, even if that's not necessarily fair? And that's because this is a more serious and darker take on, from what I understand, one particular arc of the Astro Boy manga. So that's interesting, right? That it has this tangential connection to something so classic, like one of the first anime, as many people would consider it. Now, as far as how this anime is going to come out, this could be seen in a positive light or a negative light, but yes, it is a Netflix anime. It will be streaming exclusively on Netflix, apparently in fall of this year, which is sooner than I would have thought for something that we just heard nothing about for so long. But it does mean, hey, before the year is up, we should see something from Pluto. Now, how much will we see? If I had to put money on it, I would expect we probably won't see the entire thing. I mean, this is a 65 chapter source material from what I've gathered. And that would mean, depending on how many they do per episode, we're probably looking at bare minimum over 30 episodes, probably longer than that, maybe upwards of like 40 or 50. I would not expect to just have all of that dropped at once. We'll probably get like 10 to 13 by the end of the year. When, we don't know. I mean, fall is somewhat vague. Theoretically, it could be any time between September and December, but I think we'll probably just get like the first chunk, knowing how Netflix is and knowing what they did with JoJo. I just hope that, like, it's not a crazy wait for all of the parts, however many there might be. I hope we don't have, like, the, 9-month gap JoJo had between part 1 of Stone Ocean and part 2. It's like, just make it consistent. Like, if it's every, like, couple months, fine. If it's every 3 months, fine. But don't do, like, 9 months here, 3 months here, 6 months here. I would just hope for some consistency and some, like, okay, this is when it's going to be. And, like, they did that towards the end with JoJo, where they were like, okay, once part 2 came out, we knew pretty immediately, okay, part 3 will be 3 months later, and it'll be this many episodes. Like, if they had done that from the get-go with Stone Ocean, I don't think it would have been as annoying. So I hope we maybe get something like that with Pluto, where even if we're only getting like a quarter of the ultimate total number of episodes by the end of the year, it'd be nice if they say, okay, well, here's when we tentatively expect the next quarter and the next quarter and the next quarter. We'll see. I mean, it's nice that it's on Netflix because it'll be easy to watch relatively, especially because like it doesn't seem like this is going to be, you know, Netflix jail in terms of like, oh, it'll be airing on TV in Japan, but then Netflix won't get it for like 6 months. Like it doesn't appear at least to be like that. It'll come out first on Netflix. You'll watch it on Netflix. So it'll be better than the worst case scenario, but depending on how they drag it out and how many episodes we get and how long it takes, you know, it could still be annoying a la how Stone Ocean was. I just hope it won't be. I hope Netflix will learn from their mistakes, which might be expecting too much, but we'll have to wait and see for better or for worse. So that's about it. There's not a whole lot here beyond, yes, we have a PV, yes, we have some information about it, but we don't know the exact date it's coming out. We don't know how many episodes. We can just kind of guesstimate. But I'm just very pleasantly surprised that this, you know, really well-regarded source material that I think we all thought was just never going to actually get adapted is finally getting it. I'm looking forward to it because it's Naoki Urasawa, because of its interesting connection to Astro Boy, and just because it sounds really interesting. So thank you guys for watching. Not a whole lot more to say here, but I am looking forward to this, and I hope you are too. That's it for me. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Check out my other content, and of course, take care, and I'll see you next time.